Hey everyone, it's Triple Mango Threat, and today we're going over fun commanders for new players, so be sure to share this with a new player to commander, or if you need ideas for building a deck for a new player, this is the video for you. So let's jump right into it. So how did I choose these commanders? Well, I wanted a deck that was very simplistic, 2 colors or less, and card draw to help players feel like they're not stuck in a game. The first commander I want to talk about is Sythis Harvest's Hand, a commander that only costs 2 mana, and that is so cool and encourages players to cast their commander on turn 2. And this also helps the player understand that they're not just limited to what is in their hand. So why Sythis? Well, Sythis is an awesome way to draw cards. Whenever we cast an enchantment spell, we gain 1 life and draw cards, so enchantment spells are what we want to prioritize in this deck. We can ramp in this deck and draw cards when we do, from our commander. Ramping is going to help us get ahead in the game, and helps us get bigger spells a lot faster than our opponents. So getting more mana and card draw is great for the deck. And the mana costs for these spells are super cheap, so we'll be able to draw cards for 1 or 2 mana, and get an extra mana for the next turn. It's important to protect Sythis because she becomes an easy target with all the great card draw we're getting from her. We can even draw cards from protecting her, and this makes it a lot harder for our opponents to get rid of Sythis. There's also ways to protect Sythis that aren't enchantments. They're still great options and very budget friendly, so as a new player you're not overwhelmed by what you have to spend to be able to have a great game of Magic. If we need to mess with our opponents, we have enchantments that can do so. We can destroy their artifacts, enchantments, or even make their creatures lose their abilities. This is super helpful whenever we need to set back our opponent's creatures, or most likely their commander. We do have more than just our commander when it comes to drawing cards, so we can end up playing Whipsilk for 1 green mana and draw 2 or 3 cards, which is very good. Normally we have to spend 4 mana to draw 3 cards. Drawing 3 cards off of 1 mana is a card that is actually banned, and it's blue, and it's worth way more than this deck, so you can see how awesome this deck is at drawing cards. We can win the game by Approach of the Second Sun, which if we cast it 2 times we win the game. Nylea's Colossus. This cares about enchantments entering our battlefield, and since we have a lot of enchantments in the deck, this triggered ability happens a lot. We can double the power and toughness of a creature, and Nylea's Colossus is a great target for this. Wyleth and Anowon, these are both going to be decks right out of the box, and this is the ultimate budget option for new players. These decks are at a great price to pick up, and you can always upgrade it and make them even better. I love these because you get 2 different experiences with them. Wyleth Soul of Steel really cares about auras and equipments attached to it when it attacks, so you get more of a Voltron or a 1 creature matters and deals all the damage feel. Anowon the Rune Thief is all about rogues and going wide, so it's not just about 1 creature, and this gives our other rogues +1/+1, and whenever a rogue deals combat damage to a player, they mill that many cards, and we can draw a card whenever an opponent mills a creature from this ability. I personally prefer Anowon, but if you want a different experience in your games, I definitely would pick up both of these and see how you like them. Tetsuko Umezawa Fugitive. She makes our creatures with power or toughness 1 or less unblockable, which means that we get to attack our opponents and they have to take the damage. This also works with our commander since she has 1 power. We see a lot of card draw from this deck, but really we rely on our commander. So again, we have ways to protect her, because without her the deck doesn't function the same. We see creatures that draw cards when they deal combat damage to an opponent, so that means they can't be blocked in order for this to happen. There are still a lot of options for drawing cards that don't solely rely on Tetsuko. They still want us dealing combat damage to our opponents, and with 33 creatures in the deck, this is perfect for the deck. We also have creatures with Infect, and Infect doesn't deal combat damage like normal creatures. They deal damage in the form of -1, -1 counters to creatures or Infect counters to players. And a player loses the game whenever they have 10 or more Infect counters, so making these creatures unblockable really helps speed up the game. Thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like to pick up any of these decks, I'll have the links to everything in the description down below, and thank you to the patrons who help support this show. You can also become a $10 patron to see your name at the end of these videos, and get an exclusive Ultra Sleeve each month. Be sure to comment down below and subscribe for more Mango content. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.